Good morning and welcome to Breakfast Central. Very, very interesting morning. Maybe not the best of mornings for the Arsenal fans, but we promise to bring you a lot of love, light and cheer this morning on Breakfast Central to lift your mood. You're very welcome to the show. My name is Olive Emodi.
And my name is Joe Hansen. I had to clear my throat first off. Do we have any Arsenal fan in the house?
I'm not sure that we have any Arsenal fans.
Any Arsenal fans? Anybody?
Except for, is Udoka Arsenal?
Yes, Udoka is, and I know he's in pain. You know, he's in severe pains this morning. You know, he was told yesterday to take a day off if possible. But I know if
why
he
is Arsenal
tries,
making me sneeze?
Yeah, Arsenal. But I know if he does take a day off, it's going to be a drastic situation for him. By the way. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Central. Congratulations to PSG. I mean, they've won different cups. They've won the UEFA Champions League. They won the Ligue 1. They also went ahead to win the Trophy des Champions, and then they also won Coupe.
They've not won the Champions League yet.
Yes, they've just moved to final.
Yes. I mean, for many, they've won it already. But then again, they've gotten to the finals. Three cups in the kitty. Three cups in the kitty. One to go, which is the UEFA Champions League. But c'est très bien. Congratulations. And most importantly, we can say...
hey! What is this French going on here?
He's inspired.
Yeah, I'm inspired. You know,
I love it.
And that's the player of the match, man. Hakimi,
So,
man.
let's do a comparative analysis between this match and the one between Inter Milan and Barca. Which was the better match?
The Inter Milan is one for the ages.
That Inter Milan and Barcelona's game was it's like a final. We've not seen that game in years.
It's reminiscent of Nigeria, Brazil.
Yeah.
In the Olympic Games in 1996. I wonder where some of you were.
I wasn't born yet. I'm a Gen Z.
Okay.
Oh, you weren't born in 1996.
Wow, you just reviewed.
I remember. I think I was still a baby.
I'm a young girl.
I was still a baby.
I was not born yet. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah,
I watched it nicely. It's good to see you guys. It's Thursday. It's the eve of the weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like excited. Like
I thought you're usually sad on weekends.
Like I told you, it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
So this is the sweet part. But when you guys now leave on Friday, it'll be the bitter part. Okay. You're welcome to Breakfast Central. This is where we bring you all the news, information, insightful discussions, and analysis on the biggest stories in Nigeria. And maybe very soon we would have to include an international segment because we don't live in a bubble. The world is a global village. Nuclear-armed Pakistan and India are about to go toe-to-toe, but I know they'll de-escalate.
Hopefully,
it won't get to
the world is going through too much pain.
And if you have beef, I mean, take it out on the cricket turf.
Yeah,
because they are very serious cricketing nations and rivals. Let's not kill people.
All right, let's begin our stories this morning on Breakfast Central. Of course, Wake Up Conversation starts now, and if you'd like to react to any of the stories, remember that you can engage with us on our individual handles as well as our social media handles. We begin with the story about the Factional NANS President Isah Atiku. Comrade Isah Atiku, of course, alleged being brutalized by certain people. He alleged involvement of Seyi Tinubu, the son of the president, and then talked about how the day of his inauguration, they had come in and given instructions. Seyi Tinubu had given instructions that they dismantle and they do not allow them to gather. If you recall this video, he did say he was beaten. His naked videos were taken by the police, taken by some thugs, and that they had threatened him, telling him that he cannot do anything about it. That he even indicted the MD of NTA in these allegations. And if you recall, when we had this conversation, the one thing that was key that we kept saying was that an investigation needed to occur. It shouldn't be one of those things that will be sensational news swept under the carpet. And why an investigation needed to happen was either to confirm that what he's saying is the truth so that the parties named can face the law, or that what he's saying is a lie so that he can face the law for criminal defamation. Now, reports reaching us is that Atiku Abubakar Isa has now put out a public apology on Facebook. And it reads, please permit me, dear Nigerians, to set the record straight regarding my video that went viral across social media platforms. In the video, I allege that the son of the president, Mr. Seyi Tinubu, and the Minister of Youth and Sport, Ayodele Olawande, invited me to Lagos. I further stated that the minister and I hugged and thereafter offered me 100 million naira to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but that I rejected the offer. In the video, I also alleged that for what they considered my stubbornness to reject their 100 million naira, I was on the 15th of April 2025 abducted, stripped naked and thoroughly beaten up, and in connivance with the MD of NTA, I was taken to the station where an involuntary statement purportedly abdicating my position as NANS president was obtained under duress. Now, if you read further on the apology, says, it has become imperative to note that the offer of 100 million naira, which was alleged that was made to me to support President Tinubu, was clearly untrue, as Ladoja Olushola, who desperate to get me out of my legitimate position as elected president of NANS, fed me lies and half-truths for the sole purpose of achieving his selfish agenda of taking over the reins of the student body through the back doors. It was also Ladoja Olushola who warned me that Mr. Seyi Tinubu could order my killing and thereafter instruct the IGP, Mr. Kayode Egbetokun, to bury the matter. It also stated, among other things, that Seyi Tinubu led thugs to the venue of my inauguration. This was very untrue. I made these claims owing to the picture of Seyi Tinubu painted to me by Ladoja Olushola, who swore to me that Seyi was doing everything to ensure I am not alive to serve my tenure as NANS president. In fact, I later found out that Mr. Seyi was nowhere near the venue. Comrade Atiku Isah Abubakar, right? I'm even confused at this point. Anyway, yeah, the summary of the story is it's a bit confusing for me. Because this video, the allegations were not made in a written statement, I think that to confirm the weight or authenticity of these allegations, it's imperative that Comrade Isah makes a video saying the exact things that were written in that document, right? I tried to look for him on Facebook. I don't know if I mean, maybe it's my network, I don't know what it is, but I couldn't confirm. If you make a strong allegation on Facebook, or a strong allegation,
I mean, the first allegation was on video.
Was on video. I think it's imperative that if you are countering that allegation,
you should also make a video.
Yes, because there's also some counter reports by Sahara reporters again about, you know, I saw, just to double check, I did see something about them saying he had been again whisked away by the DSS and detained. So there are many reports regarding this story, but one thing that we certainly know is that it's important that an apology, if this is a situation, is made by video. And an apology is not good enough, right?
Yes.
Whatever the case is, some people have to dance to the tune of the Lord. They have to face the Lord.
Because how did he get those injuries in the first place? That's the big question.
That's a good question. That's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, just also to confirm, I mean, information reaching is that he's also been picked up by the DSS.
That is exactly what I was saying. So that Sahara reporter said that.
Yeah.
I recall that yesterday when we had the former Senate president of NANS join us on the show, he said that he questioned the authenticity of Comrade Atiku, saying that, one, he's not a NANS president, he's a 100-level student. Two, that he was announced by Sahara reporters. He alleged that Sahara reporters was behind engineering whatever is going on with him, that he was not a duly elected NANS president. So Sahara reporters now revealing this, you know, of course now makes a number of people bat eyelids and say, what is the true story? Honestly, exactly. I cannot say I know what the true story is. At this point,
we don't know what the true story is.
I don't know exactly. I don't know what the true story is.
And anyone could have released that statement, like you said. So I guess we'll wait. And I don't understand what the invitation from the DSS is. Maybe to clarify issues, because these, I mean, the names of the personalities that were named are really important personalities in Nigeria. They want to get to the bottom of it. I really hope the investigation will be unbiased and thorough, so that we can get to the end of this.
That is, if we do confirm that he has been whisked away by the DSS, yes, but we don't have sufficient information to prove that.
That is also true, because we can't take things from the surface value anymore.
Anyway, names have been mentioned. I mean, he bandied certain names here and there. He did mention the son of the president, who took to his own Instagram page and put up a statement. Seyi Tinubu had put up some posts as well. Those posts were, in other words, it was simply saying, I mean, why would people just wake up in the morning and just talk bad about him? in other words, in that, just to sum it up. Now, if you notice in this statement that we just saw, is slowly driving the narrative to blame on the current president of NANS. Is now saying that Olushola said this. Olushola told me this.
That's this thing did not really make sense. So that's the statement, because I don't understand.
Olushola told me this.
Ladoja told me what?
It's neither here nor there. But I think in our normal way of balanced journalism, we've been able to take his story. We had the Senate,
former Senate
President come here, and let's just make it clear. We also reached out to Olushola immediately yesterday and invited him to be here this morning. But unfortunately, our calls were not returned. We wanted him to sit with us this morning and let's dissect what this issue is. And the plan was, while we have him, we'd also have the former Senate President come back. Because unfortunately, we ran out of time yesterday. He made some very strong statements that we hope he had made earlier in the start of the interview. He said he was the one who even paid for the flight of the factional leader to fly into Lagos, and everything
was coming in as an imam.
Exactly, and there were so one thing I do know is that whenever it comes to politics, hence why I kept hammering on the political aspect of this entire conversation. When it comes to politics, you would have people who I rather would call them the buyers. You could buy them and use them to ostracize or cause issues, within different political parties and break their fabrics. And we do not know where he stands now, because we're seeing a different statement today. Tomorrow we're going to see a different one. So the best thing is, like you guys have said, maybe we'll just wait.
No, there has to be.
And we also have to do a bit of investigation. There's a saying that if it's raining outside and Party A says it's raining, Party B says it's not raining, our duty as journalists is to go outside and find out if it's raining.
Well, we're nominating you to go outside and find out if it's raining.
So, Gbenga,
so please, you have to give
the
us
ball is in your court.
I need transport to find
mobilization fee. You need mobilization fee. Wow.
The last time I checked, I think I gave you 100.
Yeah, but this is really, really serious. I mean, you saw the grievous bodily harm on his body. He was battered. He had blue eyes, and the same person. I mean, for a same person to do a complete 360. It's very suspicious. And I remember even the order of things in that letter is
the letter does not. The letter did not. I mean, I don't understand this letter.
The record straight.
It looks a bit fishy. And in this era where people can fabricate posts and fabricate things on social media with a simple Canva app,
take it with a pinch of salt.
In things like this, I'd rather see a video of him saying, this is what happened. This is the situation. I did not make this under duress. But regardless of what he says, I think it's imperative that law enforcement does their due diligence. And if it is found out that the names he has mentioned were actually true, they should be made to face the law. And if it is found out that he told a lie, he should be made to face the law for criminal defamation.
Absolutely. Anyway, well, let's move on to our next story, though.
Absolutely.
That next story has got to do with a response that many Nigerians have been waiting for. It will be recalled that sometime we're here last week, where 2023 presidential candidate of the now embattled Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, had come out to speak at a gathering, of course, and that didn't go down well with the current political leaders, of course, those at the helm of affairs. Governor of Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, came out and said that Mr. Peter Obi was demarketing Nigeria while he was speaking, making a speech. And he felt, and he gave a list, which is what you see on that tweet there. One of it was that he said he made unflattering remarks, not just about the incumbent Nigerian government, but also, most importantly, about Nigeria. And Mr. Peter Obi has decided to, kick back.
Respond to him. And not just hold your thoughts there, Joe. Not just Mr. Sanwo-Olu, it was a two-hit combo.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Bayo Ononuga was spoken to the AFDB president, and then Mr. Peter Obi caught a
there was also another person.
Caught a stray bullet. They were using him to...
Yes. Another politician.
Another politician. I think it was Opus Odima, not sure.
No,
Oji Zokalu.
Oji Zokalu.
Three-hit combo on one man.
Made a video, and Oji Zokalu said demarketing Nigeria and so on.
I don't know if it was a video, but I know
it was a video. It was a video. I had that video. And what now happened was Mr. Peter Obi, while speaking at the burial remembrance of an elder statesman, talk about the late Edwin Clark, he decided to ask salient questions.
It's subliminal.
Yes.
You know, it was, you know the way they say on social media,
yeah.
Catch your soul.
Exactly. And those questions are not just as a response to what has been said on him demarketing Nigeria.
Food for
but
thought.
they were, that's
think.
it. They're questions that will make you think. January 2012, remember the hashtag Occupy Nigeria, which was led by prominent Nigerians, including the current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the legal luminary, of course, senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, Noble laureate Wole Soyinka, not forgetting
the entire civil society,
and then even men of God and so on gathered together.
Pastor Bakari was there,
and they shut down the economy, because fuel subsidy was removed from 85 naira, was going to 120 naira, which was a surgery that Nigerians would have been able to heal from in time. But I hope we have the video. We're able to see if we could get a little clip of Mr. Peter Obi where, while he was responding, he also asked key questions. Let's see if we have that video.
2 days ago, and people said I'm demarketing Nigeria. When it's true to be demarketed, one bank has just shown that 75% of Nigerians in rural areas are poor. Is one bank demarketing Nigeria? UNICEF 2 days ago released that Nigeria now have over 2 million malnourished children, the second highest in the world. Are they demarketing Nigeria? Let's face the reality. Their labor is in vain. We have a country now that is not democratic. We are not a democratic country. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Is the election that happened in Edo, is it democratic? Just the last election in Edo.
You can say he was firing on all cylinders, just like PSG dealt with Arsenal yesterday.
No. Arsenal just collected tributes. Allow them to heal now.
Just have to, find a way to razzmatazz and dazzle the whole thing.
On behalf of all of us here, we apologize to Arsenal fans. Take heart.
Yeah, but back to the situation.
Yeah.
He made some key points. I don't know what your take is.
I mean, very valid points. He made very salient points about his World Bank demarketing Nigeria. So for every negative statistics that comes out, it doesn't mean you're demarketing. And I discussed this the first time this story came out. What your concern should be is, okay, we acknowledge we have these challenges and we're working towards resolving them. Rome wasn't built in a day, rather than being defensive all the time or attacking personalities. It's very childish, and that's not what Nigerians elected you for. Nigerians, you campaigned, you said, look, I need the mandate to fix this, not to give excuses. So
right.
I 100% agree with Mr. Peter Obi there.
Well,
I mean, these are issue-based discussions. It's not attacking personalities.
So it reminds me
numbers don't lie.
Of how, when it comes to legal cases, such as cases of defamation, where you say something that is untrue about someone, the first thing they would ask is, what is your defense? The defense of defamation is truth. If you can prove that what you're saying is the truth, then it really isn't defamation. So I think in this case, it's the same thing he says. He says, how can you say I'm demarketing in Nigeria if what I'm saying is the truth? He made reference to another story that we discussed yesterday on the news, where he said, not him, UNICEF gave reports saying that...
in the World Bank, like he said too.
Yeah, UNICEF gave reports that 2 million Nigerian children are malnourished, and that is the second highest in the world. So these numbers are not looking good, and these are external bodies who have come to do their own report and their own research and survey.
Non-political.
They're not political. They're not being manipulated or influenced to make a certain
Did they reply UNICEF and World Bank? Did they reply them?
I haven't confirmed that. I haven't confirmed
I
that.
thought they would.
UNICEF was a person.
Okay, I thought they would reply them that they are on court and they are on serious body.
I mean,
so,
sometimes they reply, even
comes.
with statistics, they reply. They say, what's the sample size? And that this organization, Transparency International, for example, has lost credibility.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Or they
I know
say it's perception. It doesn't mean it's the actual incidence of corruption. There's
At the end of the day,
I mean, if it's your job, you have to find a way to defend, the government. So let's be fair to them.
I think that's also
doing their job.
It's important that, again, we realize what this is. It's an indictment on the state of our economy and how we cannot deny that Nigeria has not been in the best place. We can't, regardless of what the data, the numbers, and the statistics say, the reality of the average Nigerian isn't, it's not, commensurate to what is being told about how we're at a bend, we're taking a turn, right now things are looking better. When things actually start to look better for Nigerians, it's not something that will need any explanation for. People
I'm telling you.
It would be like a testimony. People would share about it. People would share their experiences.
Reality check. I mean, in fairness, this administration later this month will clock 2 years. They were elected on a 4-year mandate. So
we have another 2 years.
Yeah, they have another 2 years.
And let's imagine that the first 2 years was used
exactly
to stabilize.
To stabilize and
the argument would be that they
to swallow those bitter pills.
Yes, they needed to make some strong
I
decisions.
guess the next 2 years would be to see how their policies come into fruition and the effect of those things they're
if
working
after
on.
the first 4 years we don't see like a comeback, we don't see a positive feedback.
The elections are a referendum
Yeah,
to
indeed.
see if you want them to come back, if you're impressed or not. That's the beauty of democracy.
Right.
Well, while you guys are saying you're waiting for them to come back, don't forget that the politicians have already endorsed that they are coming back. So they've moved to the
But
APC.
how many votes
Whether
they
you like
have?
it or not.
Governor Eno of Akwa Ibom State did endorse Mr. President. It's a few others have done it, but at the end of the day, you can endorse, but you're only entitled to one vote. You might influence based on your capacity and your standing in society, but at the end of the day, you can only give one vote.
All right. Anyway, let's move to another story now.
Right.
I think it's a great story. Gbenga.
Social media, Nigerian young people.
Yes. The man the streets have tagged the voice of the voiceless. I'm talking about Vincent Ose, aka Very Dark Man, the man that puts 2 earrings in his nose, nose ring. It can't be earring if you're putting it on your nose, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, we do.
He's been released after 5 days in detention. The EFCC says there are cases of money laundering, and we'll see that. Let's listen to his video. He looks very happy to be out of the EFCC custody. They granted him administrative bail. This is lawyer
just to
Deji
Adeyanju, just to highlight, to say that how can EFCC accuse him of fraud when he doesn't have money, he's in debt. So basically saying you cannot tell someone that they are fraudulent when they don't have money to prove this fraud and that he's in debt.
Money laundering when
money
exactly
laundering.
when you don't even have money in the first place. But I noticed Deji Adeyanju has a penchant for defending young Nigerians. He was a lawyer to the famous Scorpion King, Akwe. You'll be wondering if where he's been. Maybe Portable can't afford his brief.
I think Portable is a
He's on
different
another
breed.
level.
There are some people that you can't tame. You can't tame the tameless.
Wow.
There's no way.
Okay,
But now the
if we come back
VDM is
to-
out. Will the protests continue? Because we've seen 2 days of protests.
I don't know
and,
that they will. I don't know.
I
I,
think so.
I guess
I
I'm
must
not
commend the Nigerian police and EFCC for their conduct in those protests. They didn't use
they acted
tear gas
well.
canisters to disperse the
this is such a shame.
protesters.
This is such a shame that we've gotten to a point where if they don't do what is wrong, we are telling them, oh, thank you for not using tear gas canisters.
Anyway, we have
thank
to
you for not.
give
This is really sad.
kudos where kudos is due.
Right. I mean, of course, there has to be proper investigation. There is a protocol by which people who are arrested should be brought before a court of competent jurisdiction. We have laws that guide how arrest and how arrest should be done and how people should be brought to court. And it will be great that in the coming subsequent arrests, and I'm not just talking of VDM, and hopefully they don't arrest him again, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying generally, if they need to arrest people, that they make their arrest, bring them before a court within the time frame,
And
we
also
don't have to keep seeing
communication.
things like this.
Your public institution, you owe the people a duty to inform them of what is going on. I mean, you see what happens in other crimes.
Yeah.
In the same day, a press conference will be held, and they will say ABC. Why do you leave things on the mystery? Why do you have to act like you're in a Gestapo state? It's really unnecessary.
They have
We
rights.
need to hold our public office, our
Law
institutions need
enforcement
to
agents.
act right. and within the ambit of the law.
Martins Ose has rights. Anyone who's arrested has rights, and those rights need to be upheld in the way and manner by which law enforcement make arrests and quote-unquote detain. The way in which we see a lot of detention is not according to how it's, what is expected. It feels like law enforcement arrests first, does their investigation whilst you're arrested, and then they can now decide whether or not they have a prima facie case against you. What is expected is, as you're making your arrest, you should be able to bring them to court within a very, very short frame. I think it's 24 to 48 hours. But congratulations to Very Dark Man on coming out, and we will, of course, bring you more updates regarding that and what the next steps are. But as we wrap up conversations, I mean, there's so many stories that we're looking to explore this morning on Breakfast Central. Of course, the Edo State House of Assembly, Speaker of the House of Assembly, has decamped to the APC. Again, what we're seeing is there are repeated stories of decamping.
Edo State borders Delta State, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Bendel. They were both part of the same state before.
So the defection hurricane is blowing.
It's eating into the south.
We should have actually captioned that hurricane defection. It's
coming into the south. So before you know, it's going to go from Delta, Edo. Of course, Akwa Ibom is not far away from there, so it's looking at that area. So in other words, ahead of 2027, the entire south is going to be at least predominantly APC.
From permutations,
so to say, from permutations. Like so yeah, it's looking that way. But the north has said they need 6 months. So did it 6 months or 6 weeks? 6 months. So they have barely like 5 more months to go. They said they still need to do some form of consultation,
and I do
before they would decide.
I also don't think the north is one monolithic block, because there are power brokers there. There's the Atiku Abubakar, there's Kwankwaso. So I don't think any one individual or one group can make a decision for the entire northern part of Nigeria. There's north central, northeast, and northwest. But we wait to see how this high-stake political drama plays out. And I'm sure by the time they clock 2 years, the politicking would go into full gear. I really wonder what will happen next year.
I wonder what will happen.
For the rest of this year.
We're already saying that we're hoping that the next 2 years we can see better implementation of governance, because the first 2 years was to make tough decisions. For example, removal of fuel subsidy has just sort of laid the groundwork for the progress that we're looking forward to.
Let's hope in the next 2 years we have street lights in Lagos.
You are street light. This street light battle.
You see, the problem with that hope is that it could be tarnished at any time.
Or it can be renewed at any time.
I don't know about it being renewed, because till now, some streets are still dark. In short, even the Lekki is dark.
Relax.
Everywhere is dark. We're coming all the way. If you pass the Third Mainland Bridge,
the Honorable Commissioner was here.
It's dark.
He apologized and he said they will do something about it.
He apologized.
We don't
know.
So
that's what we're going to say. And already, remember that some ministers are already, presenting their scorecard. On this scorecard issue, it's another thing we need to really talk about, because who sits to review the scorecard? Are they Nigerians? Do they form a conglomerate of Nigerians from different sector to sit and say, okay, fine, this is what we feel about the scorecard?
They tell you, they blow their trumpet, they tell you what they've done. It's left for you to use what they've said for you to make your own judgment out of it.
Okay,
and
gentlemen,
then going to sit down and score yourself.
Move on from here. We will, a number of the things that we've talked about, will go into much deeper during the course of this morning's